What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, 5 Baltimore Ravens players who need to step it up as we go down the stretch. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens are getting ready to enter the last 4 games of the regular season. All games that we should be favorites in, right? We should be a favorite, and we are a favorite against the Giants. We should be a favorite against the Steelers at home. We should be at least a 1 to 2 point favorite against the Texans in Texas, and we should certainly be a favorite against the Browns at home. So we got 2 on the road and 2 at home. And the question is, what needs to happen in order for us to claim victory in each game? Well, I think the first thing is we need to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. Teams we're supposed to beat are the Giants. We're supposed to beat the Browns. There are some question marks when it comes to the Steelers and the Texans. It's going to depend upon what Ravens team both offensively and defensively. It's going to depend on what team shows up in those competitions, right? But I think that there's 5 players that are linked to the last 4 game success. That list of players begins with number 1. I think it's Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman has certainly had his best season as a Baltimore Ravens. But even him having his best season, it still hasn't been a great season. And maybe it's great for Rashad Bateman, but I think that he is going to be a catalyst for the Baltimore Ravens' success going down the stretch. We know that teams by now understand who Zay Flowers is. We know that teams by now know that he's quick and he's twitchy and he's a yards after the catch kind of guy. And so I believe teams will focus more on Zay going down the stretch. So that means we have to have a reliable number 2 who can kind of mask himself as a number 1 on occasion. And we've seen Rashad Bateman make some big plays this season, but not enough. There's too many games over the first 13 where Rashad Bateman has been seemingly missing in action. We know he's out there. In fact, we don't even understand how he would have gotten hurt in a game against the Eagles that he didn't have a target. That is a mystery to me. But it can be no more missing in action. We have to have Rashad Bateman be accounted for in every single game. I'm talking about 3 to 4 catches per game. I'm talking about 45 to 60 yards per game, right? Enough of an impact that says I'm here, right? I was cool with the big plays he made. I think of against Tampa, where he makes like the 50-yard touchdown catch and all those kind of things. Those things are great. But I would rather have consistent play than just those big catch plays. See, those big catch plays, that's for your third receiver. That's for the guy who gets out there on the field and, the focus is on the 1 and 2 wide receiver, and that third receiver just stretches the field a little bit and makes a comeback catch. Or he breaks loose when Lamar Jackson is scrambling, sort of like a Nelson Aguilar, and he makes the timely catch. Or what you saw from a Tylan Wallace who caught the ball and went 84 yards. You see, that's for your third or fourth receiver. But your 1 and 2, we need to have them play consistently. Now, I believe Zay will show up, but I need Rashad Bateman to match his energy. Here's another mystery, right? When we talk about wide receivers specifically. Now, I thought that the Baltimore Ravens were looking to add a wide receiver after the suspension of Deontay Johnson. I wonder what happened with that. I haven't heard any report. So if anybody has any updates, any news on that, by all means, drop it in the comment section. All right. But I think Rashad Bateman is the number 1 player we need to step up. Okay. I think the number 2 player that we need to step up is going to be another offensive player, and that's tight end Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely showed himself well early on in the season. He seemed to be that guy who could just get open and make the catch. And the biggest showing we saw from him, or we've seen from him over the last few weeks, is the catch and fumble. I think it was in the Pittsburgh game. That's the biggest showing we've seen from him. That's what we know him from the first half of the season. And so I think that we need to see him. I think the Baltimore Ravens need to determine a way where he and Mark Andrews can coexist and be productive on the field at the same time. I don't know why that's a mystery. I don't know why that's kind of one of them things they haven't figured out yet. 2 guys who have wide receiver type skills. They're big bodied guys, and you can't seem to get those talents on the field at the same time. So that's the second player. Isaiah Likely is so integral to our success down the field, right? To where he can just get open and make that 15-yard pickup. right? And he is a yards after the catch kind of guy. And so I think that we need to see a sighting from him in every single game. See, and if you pay attention to the number one player, Rashad Bateman, and the number two player, now you have two guys, if they're showing up from game to game, now you can kind of depend or rely upon other guys than Zay and Mark Andrews. The third guy that I think we need to see show up in the last 4 games of the season is going to be Nate Wiggins. Now, I know with Tre'Davious White, filling in a role on the defense at cornerback, you don't have to rely on Nate as much. But I think that we haven't really seen an impact from a first-round rookie. And I think that he needs to validate that first-round pick. We heard about the elite speed, and he does have that. And we talked about his stickiness in coverage. We haven't seen much of that at all. And it's time for him to show himself. He needs to come up with a couple of interceptions going down the stretch. He needs to show that he can cover, he can knock balls away. And I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying we haven't seen his impact. And I think in order for us to have ultimate success, I think we're going to need to see Nate Wiggins make some plays down the stretch of this season. Otherwise, I think that he was picked too early in this 2024 draft class, right? And so Nate Wiggins is player number 3. Player number 4 that I think we need to see step up going down the stretch is Justin Madubuike. I think it's Nnamdi Madubuike now. He's a guy that the Baltimore Ravens committed $100 million to. And we haven't seen much of him. Yeah, has he played well of late? Yeah, you could say that. But when you get paid that kind of money, you need to have a greater impact. We've seen more impact from Travis Jones this season than we have from Madubuike. And so I'm saying we need to see him step up and validate that contract, right? You can't have one breakout year and have 13 sacks and then totally kind of be nullified the next season. It doesn't work that way. You see, if Travis Jones is that guy, and he's shown himself to be, then he should be making Madubuike better. And Madubuike should be making Travis Jones better. But that doesn't seem to be happening. And so I think Madubuike needs to be able to show that late season authority in the middle of the field, right? And then the 5th player we need to see step it up going down the stretch is going to be Lamar Jackson. Now, Belanger, you've gone too far. Lamar Jackson has been carrying this team all season. We understand that. But in order for us to get to where we're going, we need more. Lamar needs to hit that 250-yard mark every single game. He needs to be on that season average of 67, 68 completion percentage. He needs to take what's given to him. And when I say take what's given to him, I'm talking about run and the pass. If a hole opens up in front of him and he can get 10 yards and slide down, take that. Am I saying RPOs? No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm simply saying we need more from him in the decision-making department. He has been excellent this season. In fact, I think he is still an MVP candidate. And I'm going to make a case mid next week for his MVP candidacy. But what I'm saying is going down the stretch, we're going to face some good defenses. We're going to face at least one high-powered offense or potential to be high-powered offense. And we're going to need him to be at his best, right? I'm not even saying carry the Baltimore Ravens offense. I'm just saying if he is his elite self, we haven't seen his elite self in the last 3 games before the bye week. So I'm saying just be at his elite level, right? And I know that takes a lot of other components. That takes wide receivers catching the ball and not dropping them. That takes the offensive line blocking better. That takes Derrick Henry hitting the holes hard, all those kind of things. But I'm just simply saying he has such a gravitational pull. If he just plays at his elite level, not above, I'm not even saying he has to be Action Jackson. I'm just saying if he's just the elite Lamar Jackson, the guy who will run if the opportunity arises, the guy who will take the seat. Remember earlier in the season, he was taking that check down, taking what the defense gave him. But then there are some aspects of the last 3 games, maybe because the defense played him differently. but where he wasn't taking those check downs and we were still trying to go deep, and then the deep pass was off. So we just need him to be his elite self, not play above that, right? Just at the elite level. Again, let me make sure I'm saying this right, because I know some people will say, "Oh, Belanger, you don't know ball, and you're wrong, and everybody else should do their job." I know everybody else should do their job, but I'm specifically saying we have a 2-time MVP QB, and I'm just simply saying if he plays at his level, right, not below his level, we can't have no sub 200-yard passing game. Right? We can't have no interceptions. We can't have straight sack fumbles and all those kind of things, just at his elite level. What's elite, Belanger? Well, up until this point, he has 29 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. That's pretty elite to me. And I'm just saying play at that level. If he wasn't throwing interceptions before the bye week, we don't need to come after the bye week and throw interceptions. If he wasn't getting strip sack fumbles before the bye week, we don't need to come after the bye week and get strip sack fumbles. That's all that I'm meaning. Don't be a lesser version of who he is. Do I expect him to play at his level? Yes. When it gets to December, he does play at a high level. And I'm just saying that's what we need. We need him to keep stepping it up. Again, not carry the offense. I still want Derrick Henry getting 20 to 25 carries a game. Right? I do not want him really running. Only on scrambles, because it's the scramble plays where he's the most devastating. It's those plays where he drops back and the hole opens up, he just takes off and gets out of bounds. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's when he's most devastating. The RPOs don't make him devastating. It's those off-script plays where he takes off. That's what makes his run game or his running ability out of this world. So listen, man, let me know what you guys want me to know, man. Let me know who you guys will add to this list of guys that need to step up after the bye week. I'm your guy, Belanger. This is the GM, and we'll talk after the game. I'm out.